I need to go and close the window because the noise that is coming from outside is really terrible. So give me a minute. Hi, gorgeous people. How are you doing today? Hope you all are doing great and wonderful today. Today is it was a bit cloudy this morning and it was raining not too long ago, but the sun is out now. But it's still cloudy still. Sun with a little bit of cloud. And but nevertheless, I give thanks. So today I want to talk to you about like as as human being, as like humanity. We are talking about humanity. We are talking about all of us, right? When we were born, all of us here, whether we come by cesarean or natural birth, none of us came out of our mother's womb being racist, prejudiced, okay, amongst each other. None of us came out of that. We were born innocent, come out everything. We learn this behavior from people around us, attitude, the people around us, the people who grow you, the people you associate yourself with. And it has become a big issue when it comes to racism, has become a big issue. And it has been spreading rapidly across the globe. Okay. It can harm, because what happened now is like it has been it's like something that people feel like it's a joke. It's not a joke. Racism is real and prejudice as well. But racism have taken over. For example, now we have the World Cup that is currently happening in America. And the amount of persons who have denied entry into the country is unbelievable. Sometimes I have to question and ask the question like, where is the humanity in human being, in some human being? You understand? The case that I saw of the Somali, he would have been a first Somali, you understand, to officiate in a World Cup game, and it would have been good for us as Africans. It would have been good for us. A lot of you don't want to associate yourself because you said to me, I'm from the African race and I call myself an African, because a lot of people don't realize like it doesn't matter where you are born, you are an African, and then your nationality behind. A lot of people do not want to associate with themselves. The reason why a lot of melanated people don't want to associate is because of the stigma. And some of y'all don't know your history as well. Y'all don't know the sacrifice as well that your ancestors did for us to be in a position today. I know sometimes this topic can be a bit touchy for a lot of people because a lot of people do not live in the shoe of a melanated person and they cannot know how they feel, especially one that is happening in America now, especially to African American, is so disgusting. And even you have to be grateful when your other half come or your children come back home safe. One thing I must say, you know I when I'm in the Caribbean, I do not have to worry um about racism and all these things, because there are people like me, melanated people. There will be a little bit of prejudice, meaning like you might get a little pull string because you know somebody and you know somebody. That is something that's happening. But like racism is something that thing. um you know Nobody never come up to me personally and call me out my name. But even if they don't come up to me and call me out of my name, which if they did, let's say, it will be a different story. um you know I am saying, like, for example, there is a lot of people who are facing that, and I'm gonna rally behind them, because you know what, a lot of time people always say, oh, it's you. They always have a tendency of the person who carry out these kind of behavior. They always like to say, oh, what did she say to him that he could say? There is nothing somebody can say to you that you can be racist about a person. A lot of time these people sometimes who are like middle class and rich, and think people who are hiding behind these screens are doing these kind of things. And then sometimes they have business and stuff like that, but you can't detect them because of how social media is set up. There are a lot of people making their fake account, they are not using their real name, so you can't detect, you can't pinpoint them to, okay, this is the person, whatever. um they had this they had this debate where they wanted to say that they wanted people to use their use their real name on social media, so in case anybody like do any threat or anything to a person, they can easily identify them. A lot of person kick up against that because they say they would have invade their privacy, they would have give people a lot of information to know where they are living, and then people can, you understand, so there's a lot of people out there who are not mentally stable, who might come and hurt them or whatever. I understand that part, but I'm talking for security reason. I feel like you should use your right name, but your it will be locked. So the only time it can get access to that right name is that if you want to open a profile, you have to use your right name, right? And you have to show identification. And then if you want to change it, you understand, you want to change your name, and at least they know that the account was made with that person. So in case anything happened, they know who is behind it. I think people will change the way they react, or the way they speak to people, or the way they treat people in general. you know it's we as melanated people, we have been discriminated against for centuries and years, you know and it's still happening today. And a lot of times why I find it so disgusting is like our own melanated people sometimes, it's like you're not rallying behind your brothers and sisters when something happen. And the thing is, you always feel like if you are okay, it does not really matter, or you do not care about somebody else who is getting being affected by these things. So I want to tell you to be kind to each other. Let us stop look at like the way our people looked, and try to get to know people, and try to have some empathy, some humanity within yourself, and try to be kind to each other. There, we're world already is divisive already. Why can't you put your difference aside? And parents, when you see your child going down like a road or certain thing, because remember, when a child's small, you are the one that is like telling them certain things, they're around you. So you, if they pick up any behavior outside, then you need to correct them and say, no, that is not nice to say. You need to go and apologize and say not to do that. But instead, a lot of time people laugh and say, oh, he's young, he's just making a joke. I always tell people I don't make jokes, because you're not gonna say something to me and feel like it's funny. And there are words and slang that people use, and I want to tell them when they come to you, I need to stop using the N word, because that word, if you, some of you all do not know the word, the N word, you understand. The N word that you all use a lot is not a good word. It derived from a period during slavery, whereby black where slave owners owned melanated people, and they use that word to degrade them, you understand, or you might say belittle them and make them feel less of themselves. And that word N is, it was like you it's not a good word. And a lot of times people use that word and call each other that word. That word is not a good word. That word was derived during slavery, and it was a word to derive. When you hear that word, you feel less. You understand? If you notice today, a lot of people use it because they understand. You understand, who is not melanated, they understand the reason why, and they know the hurt behind it. That is why I say sometimes when you melanated people are using that word amongst each other and call, especially the men are calling each other the N word, y'all need to stop. Y'all are kings, you understand, and prince. Y'all need to address yourself as that and stop degrading. Stop use words that they use to use to degrade our ancestors. Stop make our ancestors the what they fought for go in vain. You need to like build. That is why when it comes to the melanated family structure, we need to start to teach our young boys. You understand? We need to start to call them prince. We need to start to call our girls princess. Men need to start to call their women empress queens. You understand? I know a lot of you call your mother queen. You understand? But you need to have these kind of words, goddess, all these kind of word and thing, because that is what it was before slavery was implemented. You understand? Before it was brought about. So I want to tell you, don't and call your melanated woman out of their name. These degrading names that you are being calling, and even some other race to y'all call like the word. I tell somebody, don't call me the B word. I am a human being. Call me Empress Queen. Call me by my name if you don't want to call me Empress or Queen. Call me by my right name. If you don't know my name, ask me or you understand. You always say Miss this or Miss that. But don't call me out of my name, because it's one thing is that is a sign of disrespect. And when you allow, even if in a joke way, and you allow somebody say, oh yes my B, oh yes my that, I'm nobody B, because people don't understand the B word is a dog. Dog is what they call the B word. You understand? So sometimes we have to be very careful of the words that we are speaking. It doesn't matter what race you are from. You need to let your whoever you are speaking to, your group of friends, your other half, whoever. Don't let people call you a family. If let them speak to you in a respectable way and call you by your name or call you something that is fitting. Don't let somebody call you like the B word and all this kind of thing and the W word and all these things. I don't want to repeat it, but you all know what I'm talking about. I know sometimes some of you don't like the truth when I'm speaking and I'm telling you things because you all feel like it's not fun way. A lot of things, when you speak these things in your over your life, right, and you speak this on a daily basis, you are putting like you are putting negative energy on yourself, because you are constantly like telling yourself that, and then eventually you start to believe, and then when somebody else call you the B word like a male or a woman, and you get in some altercation or anything, then you start to be get offensive. I want to tell you, don't speak these kind of words. When somebody speak that, you're gonna say no. If you cannot adjust me properly, you can need to keep you moving. We need to stop laugh at these things. I always tell myself that if anybody call me the B word, I'm gonna tell you, listen to me. I'm not in a joke with you. I'm gonna tell you there and there. And I want to encourage you all women, hold yourself high. You understand, self-esteem. Stop let people call you out of your name and feel like it's okay. A lot of times some of you all are afraid because you all are trying to stay in that circle, or you don't want to hurt anybody feel it, so you don't want to let them know like what you said. Listen to me, when it comes to that part, whether you want to feel a certain way, I'm gonna let you know, because at the end of the day, if you allow those kind of behavior, those patterns, it's gonna happen. Your daughters, you understand, your niece, you understand, they're gonna come up and feel like these words are good words and they are appropriate to call people. If you notice now, I have seen a lot of young people now calling woman bro. Like, come on, that is what I'm saying. Is like the respect and the and and the protocol that you're supposed to carry yourself in a high standard. You're keep going back. Don't keep going back. You need to, like, for example, you as a woman, right? Why you allowing a man to call you bro? Huh? And these young people, you have some big people, like grown people, like calling him a bro. Like, if you're the brother, say bro because he's a man, but why you have a man calling a woman bro? It's like, come on. And then the woman go say bro, and then the one bro, I'm not thinking, and bro, I'm thinking. It's so distasteful. You know. And I tell my daughters, listen to me, don't ever follow that trend and make anybody call you bro. You is not a man, you is not a boy, he's a princess. I always call my girls princess, and they have Abby as well. We always call them princess. And that is something they know they are. You understand? that is who they are, and or call them by the name. I always tell them, don't let nobody call you out your name and call you a bro because you're not a bro. A lot of times, some of you are afraid to speak up the things and then because you are afraid. Listen to me, you are doing nothing wrong by speaking the truth, like the truth like this, you are not causing, as long as you are not being a nuisance to society, or you're not causing anything, or you're not telling anybody to do anything. You understand? You are just saying like word things that people supposed to do and like how people supposed to feel. Don't feel threatened or anything like feel like say you are afraid to speak it. And I always encourage you when you come on social media, not call nobody name. You understand? If you are new to this game, don't come on social media, don't slander anybody, no call nobody name. Even if you get proof and use the word allegedly. If you see it in the court or so, then you can say, oh, this is the court document. You're ready for the court document. Then you can say, oh, you can call a person because you're ready for the court document. But if you are not reading from a court document where you have the evidence, they went to court, they find it guilty, or they are about to go trial or whatever, then you can come out and speak. But don't come out and speak negative or ill will. You understand? Innocent until proven guilty. We have to have a little bit more. We have to be a little bit have more openness. We have to be a little bit more kind towards people. Defamation of character is something that is very that is happening a lot on social media because a lot of people get swell-headed and get carried away by likes and views, and sometimes they lose their self of respect for themselves and others. Listen to me. One thing I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna bring the next woman to go up to the top because it's not gonna benefit me. Because what goes up to the top, it must come down. What goes down must come down. So if you do something to someone else, right, and you defame their character, you do something to them, you're gonna come down. Eventually gonna come down. You're not gonna stay there. So when I see women on social media on a daily basis, cussing off each other, telling about their body parts and everything. And then after you see like 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, they become friends again. How do you all feel right in your body? That is why I say now, this kind of behavior is like these things are on the internet. Nobody gonna cuss me out so dirty and tell me things that they know are untrue and expect me personally to go back and speak to you. No, my love. That is why I would say I stay away. If I write something, if I'm seeing something and it's not, I just say I'm not interested. Don't recommend no more for me. But it's so distasteful to see a lot of melanated people. You understand? I am, behaving in a certain way. I know there are other women for other race who behave a certain way as well. It's not the melanated race alone. But I'm speaking on behalf of the melanated world. You all need to do better. Stop with the pull on and tear down, uplift each other. If you don't have nothing good to say, leave it. And sometimes, if not everything you see, you could talk and come on social media and talk. A lot of times, some of y'all are friends with the person. And instead of y'all pick up your phone, call the person and say, oh, I kind of want to just give you a heads up. You understand? And let you know this is the time of the day. You understand? But some of y'all are so way to views and like that you all forget that your basic common decency within yourself. You understand? You don't have no loyalty anymore. You'll just go and think. I've seen this specific young lady, right? Moya. She's a Jamaican. And I do not know sometimes why people like this. You understand? That young lady carries herself very well. You understand? And even if something, if allegedly, even if a partner is doing something, that does not have any business to do with you coming and making a video and trying to slander her and doing her. How about you inbox her privately and say, oh, can I speak to you? I just wanted to give you a heads up or whatever. Don't come on social media and try to disgrace or pull down another woman. It's not gonna think. And it doesn't matter what race the woman come in now, it's not look good. You hardly see men just bicker now. You understand? Man just bicker. But women, hey, oh no, when on the part social media, wanna tear down on herself, wanna tear like wanna fight. Like when they give a dog a play toy, and he's ripping it apart to sharpen his teeth. It's just so some of y'all behave. Y'all women need to have a little more self-respect for yourself and realize like we all are women regardless of race. Because at the ending of the day, when you portray yourself at the tail of another woman on social media, people are gonna look at you in a different light. People are gonna say, oh, if she's behaving in a certain way, you understand, like this, what do I expect her to do me, and she don't know me like that? So I was gonna encourage y'all. I know sometimes some of y'all don't like to hear these things because sometimes it might touch a nerve, you understand, and you might be somebody who is doing that, and you know, so you don't really want to hear these things, so I will clip off and clip off. But one thing when I get me, if you do part there, pull up and next one like myself, because at the ending of the day, I have two daughters, and the same thing I do not want for myself and my girls is the same thing I do not want for somebody else's daughter. All of us are somebody else's daughter, somebody else's mother, somebody auntie, somebody niece, somebody you understand, somebody granddaughter, somebody's child. At the ending of the day, we all need to, as women, we need to come together. We need to stop the pull down and the tear down. Stop it. It not look good at all, because before social media, we used to get all the comedians understanding. After social media, we buck it out, and then next you talk drain, you get back at friend, you leave it at that. But now social media has get you all to do these kind of things, and when you all realize the views and the like and how much money you can make from it, you continue that way, not knowing that it will damage you. You all wonder sometimes, like when you all apply for visa or you apply for a job, you understand? You all wonder why sometimes they turn you down. It's because of their behavior. They are asking for all these things when they go for visa. They might ask for your social media handle. They want to know your behavior. They want to know how your career and the same. Because if you are coming to their country, they want to make sure that it's like somebody who gonna have the values, the self-discipline. You understand, to come in the country. Then want you no baga, they might not have baga in the country, but then I want too much a person to come in with them with their behavior and be a nuisance to society. So some of you all need to, I know some of you all are young and you're not really conscious of what you are doing now, but stop. I better you stop now. You understand? Before it gets, I'll tell my girls, they see from now, you your behavior and your position in life or your character is based off of how you behave on in the world and on social media, and how you carry yourself. Self-discipline is very important. You have to know when you have to stand up for yourself, but you can stand up for yourself in a diplomatic way. You don't have to be loud and a boss and tell people things out of the ordinary. Yes, my love, I know sometimes we can really get into it sometimes. You understand? Because we are imperfect human beings, but sometimes we have to zip up, we have to lock up our mouth like pot, we have to draw back, and we have to tell ourselves, you know what? It's not worth it. Because listen to me, I always tell myself, hey, when I was 15, 16, 17, 18, you understand, 19, and in my early 20s, I used to say, you know, anybody tell me anything, we tell us, me used to rinse them back and me say, we used to cuss back and because you know that time you're still not really mature, you're still a coming to maturity, you're like, you're adult, but you're not really mature yet, your brain still a click like that. But when your brain start to click, you start to say, now worth it. So I encourage like the mistake like I make, like a cussing and all them things. I don't want that to come up and be like that. I want them to be upstanding society. In society, I first of all I want them to have a lot of self respect for themselves first, so that they can so that they can like give to others as well the respect. And I always say respect is all. Like if you disrespect me, do not expect me to respect you. I always tell people, if you disrespect me, do it in a diplomatic way. Let them know like what you're trying to deal with in a Jamaican terms, meaning say you need to choose your words wisely. You have to be careful. People have feelings. We are human beings. We have feelings. You understand? So thank you, all beautiful people, for stopping by today. And if you are enjoying this chit chat, discussion, conversation, let me know in the chat or in the comment section. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I see beautiful people in the next one, because I'm off to do the school one. Bye.